going to go see the Roman ruins in Merida, and it used to be the Roman capital in Spain, which, if you didn't know, the Romans were here around before 426. 426 is when they had to leave Spain, or not when they had to leave, but when the Visigoths kicked them out. And Merida was their capital, and they've got lots of aqueducts and Roman theaters, so that's where we're going.
The Romans ruled the Iberian Peninsula for more than 6 centuries, from 218 BC to 409 AD. This land, which they called Hispania, offered the Romans oil, fine wine, gold, silver, and other minerals. In return, the Romans contributed much to the peninsula. The most obvious of these contributions is the advanced architecture that is still visible today, but the Romans also brought an advanced legal system and the Latin language to Hispania. The modern language of Spain, Castilian Spanish, is actually a descendant of this language. As a language is used in a community, it loses seldom used words and picks up words and phrases from other languages. The history of the Spanish language illustrates this well. The original inhabitants of the Iberian Peninsula, the Iberians, interacted with the Celts, a nomadic people from Central Europe. And these two groups formed the Celt-Iberians, who spoke a form of Celtic. When the Carthaginians invaded the peninsula in 237 BC, they introduced Phoenician words to this language. A few years later, the Romans invaded. When the classical Latin of the educated Roman classes mixed with the pre-Roman languages of the Iberians, Celtics, and Carthaginians, they formed what is called Vulgar Latin, or Latin of the commoners. This language followed the basic models of Latin, but borrowed and added words from the other languages. This language thrived until the Moors invaded in 719 AD. Their Arabic languages dominated the peninsula, and Vulgar Latin survived only in the northern regions. Eventually, the Moors were defeated, and Vulgar Latin once again became the dominant language. However, during this time, it had changed again by adding several Arabic words to its vocabulary. The result was Castilian Spanish, the official language of Spain, and predecessor to several Spanish dialects around the world. Today, it is estimated that Spanish is the native language of some 332 million people. Although the Romans ruled over 1,500 years ago, several archaeological remnants of their society are still visible in Spain today. Located in the western province of Extremadura, Merida was originally established to honor retired soldiers for their dedicated service to Rome. It is now home to some of Spain's best preserved Roman artifacts and monuments. In fact, so many artifacts have been found that a museum has been created to hold them. The National Museum of Roman Art opened in 1986 and houses a large collection of Roman sculptures, mosaics, lamps, coins, and other artifacts. This collection of artifacts is impressive, but so is the town itself. The Roman bridge of Merida is still visible today. It was the longest bridge in Roman Spain. At roughly 1/2 a mile long, it had 64 arches. Merida also had over 5 miles of aqueduct running through it, and several fragments of its 2 Roman aqueducts remain today. Merida's most visited site, though, is probably the Roman theater. Constructed in approximately 15 BC, it could seat more than 6,000 people. The spectators were divided into 3 sections according to social class. The stage area had 3 levels and over 8 different entrances for characters. The Roman amphitheater of Merida is close by. It opened in 8 AD and was used to show gladiators and wild animals. The exhibitions took place in the cross-shaped center. The amphitheater could seat over 14,000 spectators, who were once again separated into 3 sections according to social class. Remnants of Merida's hippodrome are also visible today. Also called the Circus Maximus, this large arena was used to watch chariot races and could seat around 30,000. Although many religious buildings were constructed in Roman Merida, the only one to survive is the Temple of Diana. Built with a granite base and 6 columns in the front facade, it was used for imperial emperor worship into the 2nd century. Under the Romans, Merida became the capital of the Lusitania province. Today, Merida is the capital of the Spanish province of Extremadura. In the northern region of Castilla y León, the city of Segovia doesn't have a theater, forum, or arena as many Roman towns do. This is because it was a military post. What it does have, however, is one of Europe's best preserved Roman aqueducts. Historians believe that the aqueduct was created around 100 AD, meaning this awe-inspiring monument is approaching 2,000 years old. It was made of huge boulders carried down from the nearby Guadarrama Mountains. Amazingly, no mortar was used to hold it together, yet it has withstood time so well that water flowed in it until 1884. The Aqueduct of Segovia is over 2,388 feet long and has more than 167 arches.
The aqueduct was made from rocks. The aqueduct, built by the Romans, was made from rocks brought down from the Guadarrama Mountains. As you can see, there are small holes on all the sides of the rocks where they used a clamp to carry the big rocks. Rocks.
It is one of Europe's best preserved Roman aqueducts. What it does have, however, is one of Europe's best.
Each stone in the aqueduct has these dents where they used a clamp to carry this big stone. Maybe someone else should do it.
Hi, I'm leaning up against one of the rocks that the aqueduct's made out of, and they were brought down from the Guadarrama Mountains, and they have these holes here, as you can see, that the Romans used. They used a big machine.